Hey everyone, Romeo here, a fellow Spanish language learner. Not too long ago, I made a video explaining exactly who structured recall is for. And in that video, I said something that sounds simple. You should already understand Spanish grammar before using structured recall. Structured recall doesn't teach you grammar. It stress tests the grammar that you already understand. But recently, I went through a training session that showed me exactly what that stress test can feel like. And to be completely honest, it was uncomfortable. Not fake uncomfortable. Not this exercise is a little challenging uncomfortable. I was sweating, I was frustrated, and I had to turn on the ceiling fan because the session was getting to me that much. The structure was double object pronouns. Sentences like, I gave it to him, she sent them to us, we will bring them to you. In Spanish, that means producing constructions like se lo di, nos las envío, and te los traeremos. I understood how those constructions worked. I knew what the indirect object pronoun was doing. I knew what the direct object pronoun was replacing. I knew why le or les changes to se before lo, la, los, or las. None of that grammar was new to me, but understanding it and producing it quickly are two completely different things. And on day 1 of Volume 2, Module 3, I found out exactly how large that gap still was for me. And today is Volume 2, Module 3, the first day of double object constructions. These I know I need to train well in. So I suspect this is going to start off very slowly, just like Module 2, and then eventually get faster as I get to the last day in this module. And I'll evaluate at that point to determine whether or not I want to repeat this module or just continue on into Module 4, which includes a mix of all the different pronoun constructions, including the double object constructions. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started and take my time. That prediction was accurate. The session started slowly and it stayed difficult. I would understand the English sentence, I would know the vocabulary, and I would know the tense. But then I had to manage the subject, conjugate the verb, identify the recipient, identify the object, select the correct pronouns, place them in the right order, and produce the entire sentence out loud, all at the same time. And when one small part went wrong, the answer itself was wrong. So I marked it as incorrect. I normally gave the passport to the clerk at reception. I normally gave it to him. Normalmente, yo normalmente yo daba el pasaporte al empleado en la recepción. Normalmente yo se lo daba. Sheesh.
Yo normalmente le daba el pasaporte al empleado en la recepción. Yo normalmente se lo daba.
So I got that wrong. Incorrect. Later, I knew what I wanted to say, but I still needed more time to assemble it. This afternoon, I will give the passport to the clerk at reception. I will give it to him. Esta tarde, yo le diré el pasaporte al empleado en la recepción. Yo se lo diré. Not say it to him. Give. Daré.
Esta tarde yo le daré el pasaporte al empleado en la recepción. Yo se lo daré.
Incorrect. I need more time to think about this. And after about 30 minutes, I had reached the point where I was physically feeling the session.
Él normalmente nos mostraba la dirección a nosotros en el mapa. Él normalmente nos la mostraba.
Not. That's how bad this is. I had to turn on the ceiling fan. Correct. That moment captures something important about deliberate recall training. Recall training doesn't allow you to hide behind what you recognize. When you're reading Spanish, the answer is already in front of you. When you're listening, the speaker is producing the structure for you. Even during a conversation, you can sometimes avoid a weak structure. You can simplify the sentence. You can choose different words. You can explain the idea another way. But during these drills, I couldn't avoid double object pronouns. The exercise kept forcing me back into the exact structure I did not control well. And that's why it was so uncomfortable. By the time I finished day 1, the session had taken me almost 45 minutes. And my conclusion wasn't inspirational. It was honest. Okay. just like I expected. Module was pretty tough. I don't know what to do other than keep practicing. I don't normally say him to me and them to her and all that stuff. So, what can I do? Keep going. This was day one. Hopefully I sound much better by the end of this module. Peace. That was the answer. Not watch another explanation, not collect another resource, not convince myself that I already understood it. Keep practicing. So I did. I returned the next day and did another set of double object constructions. Then I did it again and again for 7 days. The training was still difficult. I still made mistakes and I still had to think. But something started changing. The constructions began to feel more familiar. I became clearer about which pronouns that I needed. I corrected myself faster, and some answers started coming out without the same mental fight. By day 7, there were moments like this. You all are bringing the drinks to me at the table. You all are bringing them to me. Ustedes me traen las bebidas a mí en la mesa. Ustedes me las traen. Now, that was smooth. That statement matters because I could feel the difference while it was happening. It wasn't just that the computer marked an answer correct. The construction itself felt cleaner. Later in the session, I produced another difficult answer, slowly but successfully. All right, she always sent the reservation to them by email. She always sent it to him. Ella siempre les enviaba la reservación a ellos por correo. Ella siempre se la enviaba.
Ella siempre les enviaba la reservación a ellos por correo. Ella siempre se la enviaba.
Correct. This is what progress actually looks like. Not perfection, not instant fluency. The structure was becoming more accessible. And when I finished day 7, my reaction was completely different from day 1. All right. I feel much better after 7 days of drilling the double object constructions. I feel like I have a good feel of the constructions now, which leads me into now module 4, the integrated pronoun systems, which brings all the pronouns of volume 2 together. And I'm actually excited to get started. The first session took approximately 44 minutes. The 7th took less than 29 minutes. That is a reduction of about 15 minutes in 1 week. But the time reduction isn't even the most important part. The most important part is that I felt more capable of producing the structure. I went from sweating, getting frustrated, and needing extra time to assemble nearly every answer to producing many of the same constructions with greater clarity and control. Now, I want to be careful about what I'm claiming. 7 days of drills did not make me a master of double object pronouns. Structured recall is not everything that you need to become fluent in Spanish. You still need grammar, you still need vocabulary, and you still need listening, reading, writing, and actual conversations. But spoken Spanish requires you to retrieve structures quickly enough to use them. And retrieval does not automatically develop just because you understand grammar. At some point, you have to confront the structures that you avoid. You have to attempt them. You have to get them wrong. You have to feel the discomfort of not being able to say something you thought you knew. And then you have to return and do it again. That is what deliberate recall training feels like. It isn't easy. It doesn't always make you feel intelligent. And sometimes it exposes exactly how much work you still have to do. But when the structure becomes faster, clearer, and easier to retrieve, you can see why the discomfort was necessary. I built structure recall, and it still forced me to confront one of my biggest weaknesses in spoken Spanish. The program didn't let me avoid it. And after 7 days, and now continuing through module 4, I'm better at it. Not finished, better. And when it comes to essential structures like double object pronouns, this type of training isn't everything that you need to do. But some form of deliberate recall training is certainly necessary if your goal is to produce Spanish more fluently when you actually need it. And you don't have to take my word for any of this. I upload my full unedited structured recall training sessions to YouTube. You can watch me struggle, make mistakes, correct myself, and improve in real time in my structured recall training playlist. I'll leave the link in the description. And if you already understand Spanish grammar but still struggle to produce it out loud, you can also start training with structured recall. I'll leave that link in the description as well. Anyway, If you enjoyed my vulnerability in showing you what real struggle looks like, go ahead and give this video a like. And as always, until the next video, good luck on your journey to building more functional, usable Spanish. Peace.